guys, it's Nancy here with Sue Smith and Rusting Dollface. This is our live that we're doing right now. I am going to give the reins over to my girls to explain what's basically Harry basically caved, right? He's now going to, or is thinking about, I don't know. Sue, you guys are going to want to check out. Sue, when are you putting your video out tomorrow? Sue's got a great video.
You know, I usually start out with the royal family and then I go into the whole Harry Meghan thing. And while I was working on my video for tomorrow, all of this was taking place. So I was like putting it all in the video as it was taking place right up until the whole thing came down. So
your video tomorrow, guys, you're going to want to check that out. And I'll make sure to put the link up. Hey, Resting Dollface, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm going to give you guys the reins and start the show while we get this. Hi, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hello, everywhere. Hello. Hi. Hi. Okay, girls, do it, Roy.
Okay, so basically what happened, I'm just going to give you guys a little background. We know that Harry is the only one, except for one other person left in this lawsuit. There's only two people left. It's the first case of its kind to go against the publisher since Murdoch had to close News of the World in 2011. We've been waiting for this trial for, I think he initially filed 5 years ago. That's how long this has been going. And so today, everybody was waiting for the case to start. It was all exciting. Right, Resting Dollface? Today was the day.
Today was the day we've all been waiting for. And at the 11th hour, he did what?
He decided, well, okay, there's a law in Britain. It's their court system. I've never heard of anything like this. The law says there that if you are offered a settlement that is more than you win in court, then you are responsible for the attorney's fees on both sides. So Harry was pushing this case, and I've given some clips to Nancy. You know, he was like, I think it was just December. He's like, I'm not settling. They had to settle. I'm not settling. I'm not settling. So he goes into court, and the first thing his attorney does is say, Your Honor, we need an hour because I'm going to go talk. And it was Harry's attorney who asked, not the Murdoch attorney. It was Harry's side who asked for the time to talk to the attorney. And the judge said, go for it. Right? Resting Dollface? The judge said, go.
This is what I love about it, though, because you guys are more in depth about this. I saw it, but I was waiting to read the AP article on air. But what I love the most is the way the Sussex Squad is spinning this today.
Oh, God.
I thought it couldn't have gotten any better the way they're spinning the Vanity Fair article, saying that the Vanity Fair is somehow a tabloid now. But the way they are spinning this now is I have clips. Don't worry, I have clips, guys. If you're a little patient with me, I have the clips. I'm bringing
all the time you need. Okay, I believe the Sussex Squad. You know, they jumped all over William for settling, and now, so Harry's attorney gets the hour, and at the end of the hour, he goes back to the judge and says, "We need a few more hours. We're deep in negotiations." Now, keep in mind, apparently. And Resting Dollface, tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't we talk earlier and we decided that probably Harry had been offered a settlement all this time and he said no?
Yeah, it did seem that way because remember Hugh Grant came out and said, hey, I was offered a settlement and I'm in a better position than most of the people who were part of this lawsuit. And it was either take the settlement.
Look who's here.
Hey!
Hey!
For my tardiness. Sorry, what were you guys saying?
Well, she was saying that basically it was Hugh Grant who said that he settled because if he didn't settle, he was going to be held liable if the settlement was more than what he was offered or less. I can't remember in my brain which one. He was going to be liable for like $10 million, so he was forced to settle. So Harry's attorney then goes, you know, and so now they want to negotiate now that we're in the last seconds. So after the time was up, he goes back to the judge and says, we need a few more hours. And Judge Fancourt said, nope, you've had 5 years
Yeah.
to settle this case.
Yeah.
We are going to court. So Harry's attorney marches out of the building, down the street to the appeals court, and files an appeal against Justice Fancourt. That Justice Fancourt didn't give them the extra time, which essentially killed the rest of the day. They got the whole day out, and now the court's supposed to meet again tomorrow morning.
Wow. Oh my
Oh
God.
man.
Like,
I remember my divorce, and I remember my attorney at the bottom of the ninth coming in and going. He literally goes, Stephanie, he has one more request. And I said, what is it? And he said, he wants one of the cats.
What does this have to do with Harry?
Bottom of the ninth.
Oh,
last minute.
Strategy. And I remember saying on the phone to my attorney, I said, you know exactly the two-word answer I would give him. And that's it. He did not get Stella or George or Mikey.
Yes.
But that's, I feel like that is a strategery.
That's strategic. I think
No, it's from SNL.
It's from Saturday Night Live. She says
strategic.
Will Ferrell would say strategic.
Oh, okay. So the thing that really irritated me about the whole thing was that Harry has been saying for 5 years that he's not going to settle. He's not going to settle. He's not going to settle. He is the only one that can take it all the way and provide closure and accountability. That's what he said. And then his attorney went into court, tried to settle the case. He said 5 years to settle this case. If I was that judge, I would and it came back to me because there was no settlement.
Yeah.
I'd dismiss it. I'd be like, we're done here.
Yeah. Now, Sue, I'm confused. I'm confused, Sue and Resting Dollface, and maybe you can help me on this, okay? I could have sworn that before the new year, Harry went on with the New York Times, and he told the New York Times guy that he would never settle. He's not doing it for the money.
Mm-hmm.
And that he's going to get justice for everyone.
I do remember that.
I could have sworn we did. Like, I know you did we did a show on it. Resting Dollface. I know you were all over it on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Am I going crazy?
Yeah.
Like the Sussex Squad.
I want to hear Resting Dollface's
and slaying dragons. He was slaying dragons as
Resting
well.
Dollface. What do you think about that one?
Well, Blake Lively came out and she's the mother of dragons. Maybe he doesn't want to go against her, right? He's trying to make all those friends with the WME people. You can't go up against them.
Sorry.
I thought it was me.
That was me. Somebody's calling.
Someone's popular.
Okay, so you're bringing up the clip that Sue, you were, like I said, I woke up late or whatever, but Sue had already, you're so good at remembering this stuff because I would have totally forgot about. Actually, no, I probably wouldn't have. But it takes Sue like she's sharper than I am. But here we go. Let me bring it up. This is Harry, everybody. If you can't remember, if you can't dig it out of your brains, Sussex Squad, because I know you guys are watching, because I know you love the show, you're fans of the show. Harry was so adamant that he was not doing this about money.
And so you think that everybody's just settled because it just doesn't make any economic sense to continue?
No, I know why people have settled. They've settled because they've had to settle. So therefore, one of the main reasons for seeing this through is accountability, because I'm the last person that can actually achieve that, and also closure for these 1,300 people and families.
Now, does that sound like a man who would settle at this point?
No.
Is he going to split that settlement with everybody, the 1,300 people that he's doing this for too?
No, they've all settled. But just because they settled doesn't mean they have closure. Doesn't mean that anybody's taking accountability.
Yeah.
So,
wait, sorry guys, I have one tear in my left eye going. I'm sorry. This has got me so
one
emotional.
tear, left eye, go.
Guttural
I was telling I was telling Sue Smith on the phone, Resting Dollface and Stephanie, you guys weren't on the phone with us because we're best friends and you're not my best friend.
Well, guess what? Resting Dollface and I have ESP.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
We don't need the phone.
this is my theory, guys. This is my theory, and tell me if you agree with me. My
Okay.
theory is Harry said that with the New York Times guy, cocky AF, because he thought Meghan's trailer's going to come out for Netflix next month. In his head, he's thinking this, and it's going to be a huge hit. She's going to merch all the crap that she's got on there, all the art play stuff, all the Pottery Barn stuff, every crappy recipe she puts up. It's going to be a hit. She's got her Instagram page. This is going to be a big deal. She wrote 2025 in the sand. Get ready. So he's thinking that because there's no way that he can accept that every choice he's made for the last 5 years has been completely wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So in order for him to, I think he truly did believe that Meghan's Netflix show was going to take off. Like, she's like, do this one last thing for me, stick with the court case, show them you're here for this. You be the strong one. I'll go and make the money from now on. Don't worry about it. I'll be the breadwinner. That's my theory. Tell me what you girls think, starting with Resting Dollface. What's your theory?
I agree. And then what's really telling is how now allegedly he wants the verbiage about this to benefit him kind of along the same lines of the apology they're demanding from the royal family. And I feel like that's to monetize later too. So that's what this has been all about. I want to hear that I'm the victim. I need you to take accountability so I can merch it and monetize and write an article that'll be worth $1 gazillion.
Sue, what's your theory? What do you think of my theory? And what's yours?
I think he got into court. Well, he's not in court. He's in California. He didn't even bother to fly over because I think his attorney sat down with him over the phone, over Zoom, and said, listen, Harry, you got to be reasonable. We don't have the receipts, and you are going to be on the hook for $10 million in attorney's fees to both attorneys. And I seriously think that you really should have taken their offer when they gave it, and we should have ended this case. And I'm sure Harry's response was something along the lines of, well, why don't you see if you can get us a little bit of extra money? Why don't you negotiate and see what you can do? That's what I think, because I'm sure that they made him an offer of like $3 million or some, amount like that. And of course, to Harry, with their living expenses and the fact that they're running out of money, I honestly think they're running out of money. I think that whatever settlement they offered wasn't enough. And he's trying to get his attorney to negotiate a higher settlement.
Grace agrees with you. Yeah. Listen,
Well, Grace.
Does anybody out there think these two have any money, especially after Netflix confirmed to Vanity Fair, we never gave them $100 million? Hell no. Why would we give those two $100 million?
I think, let me tell you what, I'll give you my impression, and then Resting Dollface, she can give you, this is what I think. They got $1 million for the bench, or she didn't even quite get $1 million, but let's just round it up. She got $1 million for the bench. They got $2 million from Spotify because they didn't meet metrics. So that's $3 million. That alone would have covered just the 1 year of expenses. So that money's gone. They got the $20 million advance from Penguin Random House. I think it was for, I don't know if it was for the 4-book deal or for the Spare, but it's my understanding that Penguin Random House didn't make any money off of the Spare because they were selling it so cheap. And I'm sure in their contract, it said, if we don't make X amount, you got to give back this much of the advance. So I think he kept 15 million of that. And I think everything they've done on Netflix has been a complete fail, except for the 6-part docuseries. And that didn't even get an award. So I think they've brought in a total of like 35 million. Now for you and me, we could live 100 years on that. But the way that they spend money, they're out.
No, but not Montecito. If you, I mean, do you really think that that's their house now? I don't, I'm almost about like 99.9% sure now they don't live in that house.
Well, they're living somewhere else.
They're living somewhere else. That's too expensive.
That's
It's
a stage.
Yeah. There's just no way. And I think that's one of the reasons why they can't film there, because it doesn't exist. They can take pictures there, or I think it was used to film the Netflix series, because why would you use it to film the Netflix series and then all of a sudden become shy about filming in your house? You supposedly filmed in your dumb office when Harry was making his flight arrangements, and you were pretending to rub your baby bump, and your
a lot of the footage was done in the guest house too. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh yeah.
What about their office that they created? Her 40 by 40. That's supposedly they have to be at the same desk because they work so well with each other. She said in the was it the Variety or the
ideas are just
they're salt and pepper. They move together.
They move. They
Palm
move.
tree stuck together at the root.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't buy that's their house.
Remember that T-shirt she wore? Raise the future. Raise the future.
Raising the future.
Raising the future. God,
they don't live
I fell for that crap.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay, I have.
Wait. Do you guys remember the pictures? All the different pictures of Harry in front of the white bookcase behind him, and everybody was like, he's in his office. You do realize, and I have the pictures. You do realize that bookcase is in that same room. They just painted it white.
I didn't even realize that.
No, I figured that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now I have to look at that stuff now.
No. Remember when he would do, and he always looked like kind of out of it in those videos? Yeah. I remember that. Hey, Royal Daily T's here. Hi, Royal Daily. Yay! Okay, so should I ask her to join the chat? Do you want to join the chat? I always feel weird asking people because I don't want to put them on the spot. So
I had asked her earlier to come on the live, and I forgot why she couldn't do it today. There was a reason why she couldn't, but maybe now she's free. That's possible.
I will see.
Send her a link on Twitter.
Let's put her on the spot.
If she can make it, she'll click the link. If she can't, she won't.
What's her tag on Twitter?
She's on Twitter.
What's her name on Twitter?
Oh, let me check.
Royal Daily Tea.
I know. Exactly. I thought
it's
that.
Like, what's the tag?
Royal Daily Tea.
What's the tag, babes?
Hang on, let me find it.
I have it. Okay, we follow each other.
There you go.
I got it.
She's got it.
You got it. Okay. All right.
I'll just.
Nancy stuck some mint on it.
I put some mint. It elevated. I said the second I did it.
By the way, resting doll face, I love the mint you put on your Barbie doll.
I know. Yeah, I am. I'm gonna make fascinators and pass them out. I think that's gonna be a thing.
That's brilliant. Fascinators.
Thank you so much, Heather. Guys, like always, I forgot. I was in such a hurry, but let me put the animal rescue today, a New Hope rescue.
I know. I was like, it's funny. It's like the inauguration happened yesterday, right?
It broke my brain.
Broke my brain a little bit. And I woke up this morning and I said, did Harry do anything? And Nancy goes, yeah, something about like lawyers. Like, that's what she said. She was like something about attorneys.
I just assumed you want to wait to do it on the live, and then you told me you had a headache, and I was like, I need my girls.
No, it's not.
Well, that's in my, just FYI, that's in my video tomorrow also, because there's all kinds of stories coming out about what's going to happen now that Trump is in office, and Harry's all that special stuff Harry was getting from Biden is.
Well, did you guys read Trump's social? Is it social? What's the thing he goes on?
You mean where he fired Jose Andres?
Yes. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That was hysterical.
Let's read it. Let's read it.
Yeah.
Mark Gold.
Okay, guys, if you don't know this,
fine.
And I know we don't talk politics on the show, but this affects the show because it's Harry and Meghan.
Here you go.
Jose Andres, who is that chef guy, and I'm not saying
who she was hugging the heck out of,
and that he came out and told Us Magazine recently that, hey man, they just show up and they're good people.
They're
blah,
good
blah,
people.
Blah. Well, Trump fired him today. He says, our first day in the White House is not over yet. My presidential personal office is actively in the process of identifying and removing over 1,000 presidential appointees from the previous administration who are not aligned with our vision to make, to make America great again. Let this serve as an official notice of dismissal for these 4 individuals. Oh my God. And he mentions Jose Andres. Now, I think this is in retaliation for. Oh, he says you're fired?
Yes.
Yeah, he says you're
He says
fired.
in big bold letters, you're fired.
You're fired.
Wow. Guys, I don't talk people think I talk politics on the show. I am very free and open on my X page, and I say whatever I want, but I don't think I talk
free and open her hair.
my
is.
hair is free and open today. Where's my hair tie? That's what happens out of the shower. And so I don't think I talk politics on this show, but maybe I do.
I think that was funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
I thought it was hilarious because literally, 4 days ago, she's hugging him.
Lori thinks it's horrible. Lori, can I tell you though? See, this is where people think I'm doing politics. It's only because I'm well informed. I watch both sides.
Here we go.
No. People are saying, how could he fire the appointees, blah, blah, blah. Can I tell you why? He's getting back at Biden. When Biden went in
Oh, God.
Can I explain it?
Yes.
When Biden went in office 4 years ago, he fired the guy who sings "I'm Proud to Be an American." What's his name? Lee Greenwood.
Lee Greenwood.
Okay, he fired him. Lee Greenwood had been a person on that whatever committee, whatever, since like the 90s, and because he authorized Trump to use it at his rallies during the 2020 election, whatever, he fired him. So this is payback now. And that's all I'm guys, I do not push politics, but for everyone to go, how could Trump do that? Well, Biden kind of did it first.
I don't think he fired him because they were affiliated with Harry and Meghan. I don't think that even crossed his mind.
so
I
either.
want to believe that, Sue.
Yeah, but can we believe it?
Can we believe it?
I want to believe that Trump fired Jose Andres
because of Harry and Meghan.
Yes. And
I
I'm going to go
to think that, but I doubt his brain is there yet because the pictures I saw online, he was sitting there signing order after order after order last night. I think he was a little
Bad. Yeah, when MTV.
Sorry,
Don't
go
do that.
Rusty.
I'm sorry, I got excited. On MTV right there, it says Jose Andres is in a photo with the guy who made the second. So yeah, you could kind of understand. Maybe you'd be like, it's not me, it's you at this point. I didn't have a photo with that person. My team did their thing. You got to go.
It's true. It's true. I mean, the guy that tried to assassinate us.
Up, your sound went.
The guy who tried to assassinate him for the second time on the golf course, Jose Andres has a picture with him. So yeah, it's kind of weird.
What
Now
are the chances of that, though?
Royal Daily Tea. Okay, we need you on
Wait a
here.
minute. Am I on the show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you just
I feel like
elevated the hottie police.
Well, I feel like Matt Damon on the Jimmy Kimmel show. Like, am I really on the show, guys? Are you guys?
No. Yeah. Oh, we're sorry. We're sorry. We don't have enough time. We have to say goodbye to Royal Daily Tea, everybody. Thanks for coming on, though. That was such a funny
on
bit.
the show.
That
You
was
can't
such a
take
funny
me
bit.
off. I'm just kidding.
How are you, Royal Daily Tea?
They did, you know what? The Kids in the Hall did that on Conan once, where they did they had Dave Foley and Kevin McDonald come on.
You're
my
thinking
God.
of the documentary.
No,
What's
and
that?
that's what I'm saying. But
I know.
But it's funny because they
Yeah.
had then they were going to have Scott Thompson and said
Yeah.
we can't have Scott Thompson on.
I know.
And then they
People
put Dave
aren't
Foley
understanding
on.
the reference.
It's funny.
Okay. Hi, Royal Daily Tea. This is your first time on Twin Talk. Definitely not your last.
I know.
And we're
I'm
talking
like, I'm
about.
really here.
We're
I feel
talking
like
about.
being hunt. Yeah, I had a really busy day today, a productive day, working on a video. But yeah, I'm just really happy to be here. There's so much royal news. It's just not enough time.
Well, we're discussing, as you can see, we're discussing how Harry is probably going to settle. Correct? Do you?
Yes.
And we think he's going to do it. Well, I do. I think he's doing it because they have no money, and I don't know. They don't have any money,
Well,
He's doing it because he's a dragon slayer.
and he's a dragon slayer.
I think David Sherborne is finishing up the guest room in his vacation home
In Paris.
to make sure they have his new flooring done. So he needs to make sure he has that check. He wants
Yes.
to settle on a
Oh
number.
my God.
I mean, it's a fool's errand, right? It's a fool's errand. He really messed up. He made himself look like a moron, pretending to be the dragon slayer. He's literally a fool. And I cannot believe the audacity of the lawyer. They've had all this time, and then they said, wait a minute, give us more time. So I was to sue about this, and I'm like, isn't it the judge who makes the final decision? And here he is being so rude and disrespectful to the person who's making the decision.
I say throw the case out tomorrow morning.
I
Done.
hope so. I hope so.
I agree. So we have the AP article, and the reason we want to read the AP article is because we want to be as factual as possible. We don't want to give you a tabloid. We don't want to run into trouble with the Sussex Squad saying that, it's just the tabloids that hate Harry and Meghan now. It's not the world.
It's called people.
Yeah. So the AP, this is the right article, right, Sue?
Yes.
Okay. Let's read this together and react. Last minute settlement talks stall Prince Harry's high stakes trial against British tabloids. The sequel to Prince Harry versus the British tabloid stalled Tuesday amid settlement talks before the start of a high stakes trial pitting him against Rupert Murdoch's newspapers. Harry, 40, whatever, the younger son of King Charles, and one other claimant remain alone among hundreds who have settled lawsuits against news group newspapers. And that's like Hugh Grant. Who was the other ones that settled? A bunch of people settled, right?
Elizabeth Hurley, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, who was the woman whose son had been murdered and the newspaper actually found the guy who did it? She was more part of the lawsuit too. I can't remember her name right now.
Yeah. The publisher of The Sun and now defunct News of the World over allegations their phones were hacked and investigators unlawfully snooped in their lives. If you're just joining us on this actual story, we want to make it perfectly clear. Harry lumped himself into a lot of people's I want to say lawsuits. Yeah, because a lot of this went back to the 90s when Harry didn't even have a cell phone. Correct? Am I correct on this?
You are correct. He claimed his cell phone was hacked and then come to find out he didn't even have a cell phone.
He did not have a cell phone. Like a lot of us in the 90s did not have a cell phone. It would be the first case of its kind to go to trial against the publisher since a widespread phone hacking scandal forced Murdoch to close News of the World in 2011. I didn't know that. News Group has settled more than 1,300 other claims. And there's a reason why those 1,300 people settled. Hello? There's a reason.
Also, they settled from 2011 going forward. It's not like they just settled 1,300 claims. Most of those were settled over 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. The trial, which was due to start Tuesday morning, was adjourned until the afternoon as the parties held private out-of-court settlement discussions. Oh, that's
what you should do before you go before the judge.
Exactly. Out-of-court discussions. Where the hell am I?
Like they have cell phones now, right? They didn't when Harry didn't have one hacked. So why didn't they do this before they went to court?
Who knows?
You know what? I don't think it's the money that they're fighting over. I think Harry wants like a public apology, and and they're saying no.
Yeah,
that's what I think is happening.
Real quick, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go. We want to react to it.
We've got like so many cases with Harry, but wasn't this the one where he got on the stand and said he was doing this for Meghan? Like, isn't this that one? So that's why he needs anybody else picking up that he needs all these public apologies for Meghan so she can continue with Victimhood Volume 2, Volume 3. Yeah.
Okay, I want to give a disclaimer right now because I feel like a total heel. Our good friend Jen, RHR Jen, is live right now. I completely had no idea she was going live. I just want you guys to know we don't do this to one another. There's like a code, and we all make sure that we don't compete with each other. I had no. Did she send something? No. Oh, I feel terrible. You can go on.
That's how this came around.
Now, I just want everybody to know that in no way did we know this. Stephanie, you are more than welcome to go in your bedroom and join our show.
I know. Why
don't you go do that?
Why don't we split the
twins?
We'll
split the twins. How's that sound?
I would never do that to anyone.
Yeah, go split the twins.
See, we were going to do a live
Yeah.
And then Nancy was going to do a live. And so Nancy was
And
like,
then
well, I
it's
can do mine
because of me.
later.
It's because of
I
me.
just got my
It's because
whiz-
of
I
me,
just got
because
my-
I'm on the show.
I just
and
got
go
my wisdom teeth pulled. So,
Okay, all right. Go turn
you
down
don't
the
have
heat.
to shove me.
I'm not shoving you. Can you turn down the heat?
I love you.
Okay, I love you.
I
Hi,
love you so
Stephanie.
much.
I'll see you in 5 seconds. You're in the next room. Go.
I don't want to leave you.
Okay, go.
Here, here's your drink.
We don't do that to each other.
Yeah, and well, I didn't know. I didn't know.
don't.
I didn't know.
Well,
That's
I think
why
she's been on for a couple of hours, though. I think she's been on for a couple of hours. So
Okay. Well, then I feel better.
But see, that's how we all ended up together, because when
Yeah.
Nancy found out I was going to do a live with Resting Dollface, and then she was like, well, I don't want to co-opt your live. And I said, no, we should just put it together and just do one live. Like, how many lives do people need to clock into? Let's just do one and
Yeah.
done.
I mean, I feel so bad. And then like I said, we are so respectful. This community is probably the most respectful community on the planet. And we definitely would never do that intentionally to each other. But I don't think we're going to lose anything without having Stephanie, to be honest with you. We'll be fine. When will it ever end? Hey, Duchess of Dub. I have no idea. When will it end? Bring Stephanie back over to RHR Jen. You can see Stephanie over there. I'm sure it's going to be a train wreck. I'm sure it's going to be a train wreck. So anyways, back to this article. Ladies, when Judge Timothy Fancourt refused to allow a further delay until Wednesday, attorneys on both sides said they would go to Court of Appeal to challenge his ruling, effectively stalling the trial start. Newsgroup attorney Anthony Hudson said there had been productive discussions and said there was a very substantial sum on the line if the trial began before they could complete very intense negotiations. For the Duke of Sussex, it will be the second trial in London's High Court in his long-running feud with the press that he blames for the death of his mother, Princess Diana. Oh God, that always makes me cringe whenever he blames. Oh God, and you know that. Do you think that's Meghan, or do you think that's him? Do you think he really believes that?
Yes.
Yeah. God, poor guy. He was who was killed in a car tragically. He also blames them for persistent attacks on his wife. Now I know that's Meghan's delusion that led them to leave the royal life and flee to the US in 2020. Harry has said sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I was kind of talking out loud. Nobody believes that. Like, no matter how many times they regurgitate that, the majority of the world understands Meghan always had a plan to leave. It was get the titles, leave, come back, do what you wanted, but monetize them. Like, has nothing to do with these attacks on his wife.
Harry has said his mission to hold the media accountable has led to a rift with his family. Yeah, that's the reason. It has nothing to do with the book or the Netflix or any of that. But it's one he feels compelled to carry out to expose wrongdoing, unless they give him money, correct? Unless they offer him money. Is that correct? Yes.
I really hope they offer him $1. I really hope he would. It's the same thing that Meghan got, $1 and a very tiny apology in a paper. But remember when she sued the newspaper when they published the letter from her daddy? Remember that? Her daddy? You have to say it like that. Daddy?
Daddy. No, she goes, Daddy, you've ripped my heart in pieces.
Exactly. Exactly. And she wrote the letter she wanted to use the word daddy to pull on the heartstrings, knowing it was going to be published, and it backfired on her. We wouldn't have known how nasty she really was. We had no idea, but remember Jason Knopf came out and proved how nasty she really was, and she won $1. All that for a damn $1 and an apology. So I hope Harry wins $1, and I hope he has to pay $1 million in legal fees. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Angela,
I have to tell you, I never felt so sorry for anybody as I did for her father when he said that. Not once in the letter did she ask how he was or say, I love you.
Yeah.
Not once in that letter.
It was a letter designed to have us read. It was a letter designed for People magazine. It was not a letter designed for him at all.
And it wasn't a technicality on the number of words that were published. It was his letter. That's what I don't understand. It was his letter. If someone writes a letter to you, that is your property. Okay. And if you want to put it in the paper, that is your legal right. But I think it had to do with a certain amount of letters. And then they call it
Yeah.
You're correct.
You want a booby prize. You know, what is it? You do stupid things, you win stupid prizes. And instead it blew up in her face and it made her look extremely bad. And that's shortly after she came out with that miscarriage story. It was around that time. Because she liked all the press that Chrissy Teigen was getting, in my opinion.
I think the law in the UK is you can't publish more than 40%, and they published more than 40%. So that's the only reason why she won.
I mean, and let's face it, that letter was basically, like you said, there was no, I love you, Daddy. I hope you're doing better. How are you? We've been trying to. No, it was like a Dear John letter because it was to the effect of, you know, let us go live our life in peace.
And you also know that letter, he got that letter and he sat on it for 6 months. It wasn't until her friends went to People magazine that he had and trashed him that he felt he had to defend himself.
And they misspoke about the letter. Oh yeah, we read it. Oh yeah, we read it. And this is what it said. Like, so not true. And what else was he supposed to do? It was like all designed to force him to publish it.
Okay, he won a similar case against the publisher. Yeah. So here's a look at the case, guys. Allegations aimed at editors and executives. Do we need to read this? We kind of know, right? Or do we want to read this again?
Well, I say get to the part of what happened today, because that was the I as I was watching it in real life, in real time, as they were putting up the comments, my jaw was just going, you know, like, how could you start this lawsuit, wait 5 years, the judge has made it clear there will be no more delays, and then the first thing your attorney does on day one is delay.
Yeah, exactly. This is the part, right? Strong incentive to settle.
Right.
Actor Hugh Grant has been one of Harry's remaining co-claimants. Oh, so he is. So Hugh's still in it. He's in it to win it, but said he was forced to accept an enormous sum of money to settle. Somebody else read this, please.
Okay, he was forced to accept an enormous sum of money to settle because he could have faced a legal bill of £10 million, even if he won at trial. So no, he's not in it anymore. That's the law. I couldn't remember. Under English law, a claimant who wins a court judgment that is lower than what they were offered to settle has to pay the legal bills for both sides. So if Harry was offered 10 million and then he goes into court and he wins 8 million, he then has to pay whatever the attorney's fees are for both sides of the case for the whole case for 5 years. That would be over $12 million.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And I
like at the bottom, it says right there, it's intended to discourage lengthy trials, which is what this has been. It's like this whole thing has just been a big publicity thing, hoping to get them to admit guilt and settle, is what it seems like.
Well, I mean, maybe it's just me, but don't you guys find it kind of odd that he did this whole thing about I'm never going to settle, and then now he's trying to settle, and the Sussex Squad is saying he'll never settle, and now they were all over Prince William for settling, and now Harry's settling. I'm wondering how they're going to spin that.
Oh yeah, I'd love to know that too, because I mean, God, the cringe language that they use. Oh, slaying dragons, really? I'm sorry. You know what? William settled so his family didn't have to go through that, and so he could focus on his charity work. And then the money that he got, he donated to a charity. It was a win-win. Harry's entire life has been caught up in these court cases and making stupid statements about it.
Didn't he donate his money to Invictus?
Of course. Of course. Did you guys read this part?
No, you just flipped the page.
Thanks, girls. Despite the grave financial risks, Harry told the New York Times Deal Book Summit in December that he was not going to fold. We have the proof. They've settled because they've had to settle. Yeah, so this is exactly, we can play it again, guys, to those who just came. It's very short, but let's play it again.
And so you think that everybody's just settled because it just doesn't make any economic sense to continue?
No, I know why people have settled. They've settled because they've had to settle. So therefore, one of the main reasons for seeing this through is accountability, because I'm the last person that can actually achieve that, and also closure for these 1,300 people and families.
It's sad how delusional he is. He thinks that he's impressing people, that he's a hero. I'm fighting a mission for a rich man, elitist, fighting the press for a battle that's already been fought and won. It's 10 years over. People got $1 million. It's over, and he's going to get a little booby prize.
Yeah.
I really hope he gets $1 and say, well, was it worth it? Everyone else got their money and they left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, when they say it's time to let it go, he clearly is like a dog with a bone.
Mm-hmm.
His lawyer, the fact that he came up there with those antics, I'm like, aren't you supposed to be this awesome attorney? You look terrible walking into a court of law, throwing a hissy fit and saying you're not prepared. It's like you're pretty much telling the entire world you don't have a case.
Litigation, a sort. Do you have anything to say, Resting Dollface, about that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'd like to know what his deal with David Sherborne is, because I can't see, this isn't like a, personal injury where you sign a deal up front and if, they settle, they get X percentage, you pay nothing out of pocket. So who's been paying Sherborne this whole time for the past 5 years?
He could be doing it for, sometimes when you take on high profile clients, it's sort of good for you. Like, well, who would do that? A lot of people in the States would do. Who's that guy that was on Epstein's list recently?
I can't imagine that he did that pro bono with the
I don't think he did it. I don't think he did it pro bono.
I think they get like $1 million retainer. The people of that level get like a retainer. Because think about all the lawsuits. Harry has like 10, 13 lawsuits. So I don't know if David Sherborne or his team is doing all of the lawsuits, but I think they probably keep him on a retainer. I mean, I could be wrong.
Wait, quick question. Isn't this other than the lawsuit for his security, which is in April, isn't this the last one?
Yes, this is the last one.
This is the very last lawsuit.
Phone hacking. Then the other one is just the Home Office. And I don't know if they have any other ones left. I mean, they've had like 7, right? 7 to 13 lawsuits. Of course, they never sued, Valentine Lowe or the other gentleman. And of course, to see if they go after Vanity Fair and some of these other people, right?
You can't go after stuff when it's
did you guys watch? Oh gosh, it was so good today. I don't know when she put it out, but Kinsey's new podcast, she had the girl that has written for Vanity Fair. What's her name? The English woman, that journalist, and she's very what?
The one who just did this recent article?
No. I can look up her name right now. Here she is. Her name is Katie Nichol. Katie Nichol.
Mm-hmm.
This chick, her.
Oh, they're always on together. They do the airs and spares.
Okay, yeah. But Katie Nichol has written for Vanity Fair, so she was. I was going to put this in the video today. I'll put it in a video if Stephanie and I ever decide to work together again. I don't know. This situation might work out, but I feel
like I jinxed the show. I jinxed it. It's me.
She's in the next room. I just want everybody to know in this community. We all look out for each other in this community. Nobody does anything out of pettiness or vengeance. It really was a misunderstanding. And Jen texted Stephanie and Steph was like, what? But yeah, Katie Nichol was on Kinsey today, and she said that they don't have they couldn't go after, because, she asked, do you think they got their bases covered? And she goes, yes, they are the gold standard of journalism, Vanity Fair. They would never do this. And Katie Nichol also said that she had heard rumblings that this article has been going on for like a year, that they've been researching it. And they go, you have to fact check and fact check and fact check. And then you give it to the editor. And then the editor has to fact check and fact check and fact check. This is all, I mean, I'm telling you, Katie Nichol, she's very even keeled. She's very even, she would not lie about this. So like I said, I have some clips of the Sussex Squad saying, oh no, I
would really like to see what they're saying.
I'll bring it up right now. I got mattress.
The Hollywood Reporter also.
I got mattress.
Those are people that definitely check their sources. They wouldn't have been around as long as they are if they didn't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's
You
your
know,
number?
I had heard that maybe one of the reasons why Harry didn't go to the UK was he was worried he might not be able to get back in.
Oh.
What?
You know,
Into
Trump.
America?
That
Back
if he
to
left the
America?
United States, that Trump might stop him from coming back in. That's just something that's been floated. I don't know if
You're
that's true or not.
so right. You're so right on that. I didn't even think of that. You're right. Why would he go?
Well,
Why
he's
would
going
he-
to the UK in February. Well, if it's not settled tomorrow,
If it's not
right? Or thrown out of court,
Yeah.
thrown out of court tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen for Harry because I think he's here on some kind of special visa. But who knows? Who
Not
knows?
for long.
Hard.
Yeah.
It might be hard. See,
It might
Sandra
be.
said Katie Nichols was nasty to Catherine. That's why you know she's telling the truth. She
Yeah.
is. She was very pro Harry and Meghan. She was even like sort of not defending them, but making them sound like, you know, they just might be in over their heads. Like you guys should watch it. It's Kinsey's latest podcast on YouTube that I saw. But if you don't want to watch the whole thing, Stephanie and I are going to put highlights in it tomorrow. But it's pretty interesting how she just says, no, there's no way that this was a puff piece. There's no way. She goes, they had the cover. It was she goes, it was 52 minutes long for the actual AI reading it. It was a book.
Wow.
Right, ladies? Okay, let me bring up Sussex Squad's Matta. You guys all love her, right?
Oh,
We love
God.
her here.
Fun
my
fact, her and
God.
I started around the same time on TikTok. And
I
we used
really
to be
hope
kind of friendly. And then she got really nasty with me. And then when she became on the payroll with Boozy, she
Yeah.
blocked me. And she was in,
Can't say
Boozy.
anything. Yeah, I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking to everybody in general. Let's be nice and respectful. It's downloading right now, but let's be nice and respectful. She is a grifter. Can't blame her. She's a little grifter. She's a Meghan and Harry stan. She's just a little messed up in the head, so she doesn't really know what she's talking about half the time. So if anything, we should pity her. But this is probably the stupidest video.
She threatened to shoot children at the museum. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like
I draw
said-
a line at
like
the
I
pity.
said, there's obviously something wrong with her. There's a chemical imbalance. But yeah.
Considering she's merching, maybe she should check her battery. Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Guys, I'm about to go live on Jen's
Nobody
show.
cares.
We love you, Steph.
Yeah,
Goodbye, Steph.
Everybody come on to Jen's channel.
Stephanie, I'm trying to do this.
We're
dude.
in total
You
competition
should
right now.
you should have Jen come on here. You should have Jen come on here. See, and
That's
then
what I'm
you-
saying. I don't think she'll come
Guess what? She is. She's about to.
on our show.
We're gonna end her show with me
Oh, okay.
because I'm the grand finale.
over here.
I'm like a firework. I'm like a firework display, dude.
Yeah,
Watch
she.
this.
You're on something.
Watch this.
You're on something. She's on something today. That's for sure.
Twin
Ever
vibes.
since that surgery, man, she's been on something. I'll tell you. Wow. Okay. Why is this not? I'm sorry. Stephanie came on over, and now I can't do anything. Oh, there it is. Okay, got it. Thanks for being so patient, everyone. Everyone who does lives with me, whenever I get a little frazzled, everyone's always so nice and patient.
You
That's why
are
I love
a
this community.
whiz, Nancy. I watch you all the time, and you are amazing with the links and the videos. And I'm trying to learn from you how
I
to
like
do
to.
this.
Well, if you ever want to, I like to be prepared before I go live. But sometimes your twin sister will tell you, "Did you bring that up? We should talk about this." And then I get a little frazzled. But here is our good friend Matta, friend of the show. She's always welcome on the show, talking about the Vanity Fair article and how she knows more about journalism than Vanity Fair does.
This is the cover story in Vanity Fair right now, inside Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's big business ambitions 5 years after their royal exit. I was actually hoping that someone would write this piece a few months ago, and from what I understand, this piece has been in the works for ages, at least since last summer. Harry and Meghan also declined to be interviewed for it. On its face, this article is purporting to do exactly what I asked for. Look at Harry and Meghan's business ventures since leaving the firm. Some people are calling this a hit piece, however. I don't think it's quite that, but it's also definitely not, Sussex propaganda, because because it's 2025, we are once again living in Trump's America. We cannot have a nuanced discussion on this couple, this article, or anything. So,
okay, so because Trump won the election, Matta, or Mattress, as we call her on the show, please, you have an open-ended invitation, Mattress. She says that because Trump got elected, we can no longer have any conversations that are nuanced about anything, especially Harry and Meghan, because everything's going to be biased now, and it's his fault.
Right.
Correct?
And
Is that what you heard?
Vanna points out, she always tries to point out the racism and the injustices that Meghan suffers. So she's definitely for 4 years.
You know,
says the girl who put out a tweet, checking my sources to see if the Queen's kicked the bucket yet.
Right.
Oh, yeah, no,
Really?
it's like she's got a ton of friends who are,
Right.
Black women. I'm sure she's just around them all the time. She just looks like it. She just, she looks traveled.
As a white woman who is not as popular on TikTok and probably has 1.5 million followers or less, she totally understands what she's going through.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's hear what else she has to say.
as I take you through this article, please remember that multiple things can be true at the same time. We did talk about this cover story on this week's episode of Off With Their Headlines, which is coming out on Thursday.
Now, we always tell you on this show, do not go to any of their stuff. They're trying to make it big in YouTube right now. Please don't go over to their YouTube. Stephanie and I will always, I'm going to kill these dogs. Does anybody want 2 dogs?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nancy, remember, I probably shouldn't bring this up, but on a previous live that I was stalking y'all on, because I'm always lurking, you talked about burn her accounts.
A burner account?
Yeah, I have, let me just say, on one of my Instagram accounts, I follow one of the people that she says blocked her. So yeah, I'll tell her when she comes back.
Okay.
It's related to this subject, with matter of fact.
She's the girl who got fired for putting up some horrible tweets and then blamed everybody.
Didn't she have a GoFundMe page? Right.
And Boozy donated and shared her link.
Christopher Boozy did it for her. She got like $10,000. He told all the Sussex Squad members to donate. She got like $10,000 in like a week, and then she shut it down after that.
Okay. So she got 10 grand. She got a little seed money, and now she probably just works off a paycheck off TikTok. But we all know that likes and views on TikTok don't pay as well as YouTube, and that's why they're trying to move over to YouTube. We tell you guys, don't worry. If they say anything interesting or crazy, we will report it. You're trusted YouTubers here, because all they are is grifters. They've proved it. They just want you to subscribe, blah, blah, blah. They're bullshit. So here we go.
Confusing. This article is claiming to have the inside knowledge on a lot of different parts of Harry and Meghan's life. Their residence in Montecito being what we open with, their Spotify deal, the work environment that has been created around the Sussexes. That section frustrates me a lot, but it's not the worst part of it, because for every person who goes on the record saying that Meghan Markle is a bully and a nightmare boss, you also have people saying, no, she was really cool and I like her a lot, or people saying she and Harry are just optimistic and don't really know what they're doing. In that regard, there is kind of a full spectrum of opinion represented in this piece, but where this piece falls short for me is there's no real engaging with those claims. And that's really the risk you run when you write and consume a glossy cover story like this.
See, she's trying to discredit Vanity Fair. Do you see what she's doing there? I mean, she must have the
Vanity Fair. It's Vanity Fair. I give it up.
Yeah, Resting Dollface, you know Vanity Fair. I mean, this is nuts, right?
This is insane. Like, I feel like maybe some of these people have been waiting for this moment to try to come off as authority ever since Tom Bauer exposed the original Vanity Fair affair that happened. Remember?
Yeah.
And so it's Vanity Fair. Nobody cares. Like, you're nobody TikToker.
She's like, it's a glossy cover. You know, they would not put it in the cover. Oh God, okay. We'll finish it and then we'll talk.
Even if it has been in the works since last July, this will never be a holistic look at Harry and Meghan's lives. Part of the reasoning for that is right here. One person quoted said, actually, I have no idea what their lives are like. So
yeah, right now she's gaslighting her audience. That person that said that says, I only work with them. I don't know what they're like at home. The whole article was how she's a crazy boss, and that nobody. Of course they don't know what it's like. That's like somebody making a comment like that. Well, I don't really know what Nancy's like from 11 o'clock p.m. till 8 o'clock a.m. Well, that's because I'm sound asleep. I mean, I wish I slept like that. Trust me. Oh my God, I don't know where I came up with that, but geez. Please, Lord, hear my prayer. I know I don't pray, but okay. So, but can you believe how is it me, Resting Doll Face? I want to give Royal Daily Tea and Resting Doll Face time because we don't see your mouths moving. So it's hard to call on you guys. So doesn't that frustrate you how they're gaslighting?
It does, because this, and I really hope people are not this gullible where they're just taking, and anytime, guys, and everybody in the chat, every time we do something, every time we're on a video, we encourage you to go to the source. There's a reason why Nancy just said, don't go to their channel to give them likes and views. Go to the source instead, because we tell you all the time, is it just us? These are our opinions. What are your thoughts? And this woman is coming off like she has credibility and recapping the article. She couldn't be further from the truth.
They're trying to push this media literacy BS. Sue, have you seen this now? That's the new woke thing, is media literacy. Brian Stelter on CNN pushes it now. It's all about media literacy.
I'm so over woke.
Oh, I'm done.
I'm so over it. Let's just not even go there.
Done. I'm over it. Yeah, okay. Sorry, guys. I know I keep saying I'm finished. It's just that pissed me off.
What are we doing here? I do also like the discussion of Harry and Meghan's aspirations to become global figures, especially when it comes to what they've kind of taken on in explaining race relations, not just to the royal family, but to the public. There was some good analysis.
Explaining race talk about it after.
There about how Harry especially is well-meaning but still doesn't quite get it, which is something that I've also talked about. But then we kind of lose the plot a little bit when we go to talk about what Harry and Meghan have done to Montecito, a section that includes only critiques of them from other Montecito residents, so rich assholes. Sorry, but not sorry. Talking about how they hate that their quiet neighborhood is now noisy and full of people. Rich people gripes that I think, if they're going to be included, do deserve some scrutiny. I'm not even saying you need to find somebody who loves Harry and Meghan to also get them on the record, but as a journalist, you need to be applying a critical lens there and balancing that take.
She just told a Vanity Fair journalist how to be a journalist.
And if they don't have people who exist that like them outside of the Sussex Squad, how are we going to find them?
You're not going to be able to find one person in Montecito that likes those two. Are you crazy? Actually,
Right.
You are
Right.
crazy.
And she has a Substack that, her and her friend Meredith, your friend Meredith, Nancy, where they like to explain to us dumb folk about racism, because apparently we're all too stupid to know about racism and unconscious bias. Just like Meghan, remember they wanted to teach the royal family about unconscious bias?
I did a whole deep dive. I did a whole deep dive. Yeah, I did a whole deep dive on Meredith and why she is a grifter, because back in 2020, she was like reading White Fragility. Yeah, we got to do the work, ladies. We got to do the work. Now she doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. But anybody who read White Fragility and took it seriously is a grifter. It's a book for a grifter and their apprentices, their minions.
I was going to tell you, Nancy, I'm following Meredith on one of my Instagram accounts if you need some info. So just
I do actually.
Okay, I don't watch it, but I am following for research
tidbits
purposes.
That I would call new. The trademark for American Riviera Orchard was denied. You need to go back to the drawing board on the name, which is good because it's a terrible name. Oh, and Harry wanted to do a podcast about men in power who are sociopaths because of the way that they were raised. Huge and crazy if true, and I kind of believe it is true, but I do wish that we would stop scrutinizing and harassing Harry and Meghan for all of their crazy ideas, even when they don't actually.
We're not allowed to do that. No
more.
No more.
come to fruition. We don't do that with anybody else. You know the phrase, there are no bad ideas? When you're in a Spotify like ideas session, there are no bad ideas, okay? You're in the room with Spotify.
Meredith, Mattress would know. Mattress would know because she's constantly in the room with Spotify executives. So she would know. This girl's Hollywood.
But
You know,
she totally
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. My boyfriend's not famous or a TV producer or writer. He's not in that business. I don't know anything. This one does. This chick does.
Oh, totally. I mean, look at her. She's Ari Emanuel. Can't you tell?
Right there. She's taking meetings. What do I know?
No, I
You read
just,
this
I
article.
want to
Let me
say
know what
she's
you-
really pretty. Actually, if she would just do something with those glasses, her
We're not-
glasses.
we can't go there. But
Oh,
yes,
she's
I
very
do-
pretty. She got
I
a
know.
great
I
skin.
do have dreams of giving her and Money Making Meredith a makeover one day. But
Can we do it to the soundtrack of Clueless? Be it like, you know, the
I
part
just
where
have
Ty gets redone?
I just have ideas. I have like maybe tips that I could give. I would just be like, maybe this, maybe that. But what do I know? What do I know? So I'm sorry for but what do you guys think of that? That is what the Sussex Squad is going off on. Stephanie and I elaborate more in our video tomorrow because I have all the Instagram slides. But Royal Daily Tea, do you still follow Money Making Meredith on Instagram?
I do.
Okay,
One of my
sweet.
other accounts. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And also Mata, because I feel it's important to be honestly not a hate watcher. I like to see what other people are saying.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to get the other side. And look, nothing against, matter of fact, the girl, look, I respect the hustle. She hustles, get your bag, do what you gotta
I'm
do.
sorry. Who's
What
the
I
troll?
But what I don't like is when she comes off as she's a royal expert and
Yeah.
she's correct. And she went after William, called him a racist when he made a speech. Do y'all remember about 2 years ago? William made a speech about the war that happened in Russia and Ukraine. And his quote was taken out of context. And then she went and did a rant calling him a racist. And when she was corrected and told of her mistake, instead of saying, hey guys, I made a mistake, she doubled down and made another video calling him a racist. And I was like, you know what? You have absolutely no right preaching about how Meghan and Harry are mistreated in the press when you have information. You even admitted you have information and you don't care. And now you're just doubling down with racism. And so she's a hypocrite because she makes money pretending to love royals, get royal crowns. And I remember when Betty White passed away and there was a tweet where people were saying, oh, the wrong white lady died.
Yeah, I have that tweet.
Yacht. And then she walked around going, bye, Tiara.
She says the most god awful
You're
things
not a royal
royal
watcher and
family.
you hate the royals.
Where are the
She said
sugars?
terrible
We're saying
things.
they're sugars. I don't see any. Guys, say their names. That way I can find them and then I'll get them out. But I have no idea. I don't see any of them. If you tell me their names, I'll find them.
Sugar's in the chat.
I can only imagine there's probably lots of sugars in the chat. I mean, we are being very controversial right now. We are bringing up the two queens of their. Stephanie and I came up with a pretty interesting theory that we think it's like a pyramid scheme with the Sussex Squad. And Mattress and Money Making Meredith, I call them Eminem, and they're at the top because they're the white women. And then do you notice though that these black women, they like listen to them and then they make these videos that are not true. And like I said, our community is so great because I run things by everybody all the time. Hey, maybe I shouldn't do this. Should I say this? Is it maybe this isn't that good of an idea? I know I do that with you girls all the time. And I'm pretty honest with the audience about things, but I don't see them going to their audience and saying, maybe you guys should let up a little. Maybe we shouldn't talk about that. Maybe, I feel like they're throwing those women to the wolves in some way. People say Lori Hollinger. I don't see her.
Yeah.
I'll find her.
I would block her.
I don't see her, but I'll find her.
Oh, is she talking
Such a
about
nice
me? I'm
name.
sorry,
Such a
Lori.
nice name, too. Lori Hollinger?
Comment at 7:04 p.m.
At what?
Apparently, she thinks that my father's book is stupid.
Your father's book, the really cute porcupine one? I love
Yeah.
that book.
I own that book. I own it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy
Yeah.
it.
I own that book. I love
That
it.
was the first
that's
supportive
fun.
like merch I bought from our community. I do have somebody gifted me that Royal Rogue where he was in the Highlander thing. I do have that throw. I'm very excited about that. It's on my sofa.
Oh God, did you guys that David Soul book that he sent us? Have you guys seen that? The pups.
No.
Oh my gosh, the illustrations on that.
What book is it?
It's let me see. Let me grab it. We featured it a bunch of times. I don't know where the hell Stephanie puts anything. Stephanie is a bit of a neat freak, and she'll take things sometimes, and then I'll never see them again. But you girls talk. I'll be right back. I'll go get it.
Oh well, while you're looking at that, did you guys see this book that was sent to me by one of my subscribers?
No.
I'm gonna read it.
Is
I'm
that
gonna
the one
read it.
where, like that Harry's hanging his hat on?
It's maybe this is the book that he's hanging his hat on. It says The Truth Behind the Assassination of the Century. So she went out of her way to mail this to me. I am going to read it. I'll be interested to see what it says, but we all know that an in-depth investigation was already done. Mm-hmm. But somebody sent this to me, so I'm going to read it. I know, right? She's like, yeah, my father's book. Yeah.
This is a really cute. If you have kids, Sue, you can get this on Amazon, right?
Correct. Years after he died, Dr. and then a few years after that, my mother died. And then I was going through all the books, all the boxes, and I found this book my father had written when I was a very young child, and so I had it published.
Yeah, it's a really great book. Dr. DeRossi wrote it, and it's on Amazon. And then our really good friend of the show, who's, oh my God, I don't know, anybody on X will see somebody went nuts. And Sussex Squad, actually, let me show you the book first. It's called the Royal Pup Pack. Guys, the illustrations are amazing. Like, he's got everybody in there, and they get into like trouble with the dogs of the palace and all this stuff. It's the cutest book. It's the cutest book. But he's so great. And sorry, my boyfriend's watching the show, and he had to tell me, hi, go to bed. Okay, so he wrote that book, but do you know that Sussex Squad wrote an email trying to make sure that his publisher, he put it on X. Let me see if I can find it. His publisher needed to know that he didn't like Harry and Meghan, and that the Sussex Squad is a group of they're a global group, and that if they publish this wonderful book, I'm telling you, this is like one of the best books ever, next to Never Pet a Porcupine.
Oh, wait, you went away.
Your sound is out.
Your
sound went out.
Sorry.
Okay, there you go. Go ahead.
It's because I need a new cord. Okay, I've got it right here. You guys ready for this? You're gonna die.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh God, I need glasses. It's by Paige Masters of the Sussex Squad. My name is Paige Masters. I'm a member of the Sussex Squad, a global group that supports the work of Her Royal Highness the Duke and their Royal Highnesses the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. We have global podcasts. No, you don't. This must have been Meredith and Mattress. Dedicated to spreading the work they do with their charities and to defending them from slander. We have also thousands of global supporters who ensure that these podcasts altogether receive a significant amount of listeners.
That sounds like Meghan wrote that herself.
I think it's Meghan now. I actually do. It has come to our attention that your publishing company supports a Mr. Dave So, who has been relentlessly participating and communicating with a hate group on Twitter, whose main objective is to vilify, harass, bully, and use outrageous slander against Her Royal Highness Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. outright racism and xenophobia at its strongest. This group has in recent months suggested the following. So
They sound like a terrorist organization.
I'm not kidding when I read this. The group has in recent months suggested the following about a member of the royal family: that the Duchess has had faked her pregnancy after the birth of their Royal Highness's firstborn son. Well, we also believe, and that the group has called him a doll. Number two, they have used racial slur. Nobody's ever done that. I've never been able to find any proof of that. I would say something. They have used racial slurs against the only biracial member of the royal family. That's a lie. That's not the only biracial. Yeah, that's a lie. As for Mr. So, he has tweets using his personal Twitter account expressed his dislike for the Duchess. I guess you can't express dislike for Meghan or someone's going to go after you. You just can't. And accused her of causing division. His words. So he can't say that Meghan causes division. Apparently that'll get you fired from your publisher, which don't worry, it never happened. Mr. So has never, as per our extensive knowledge, personally interacted with the Duchess. He cannot make such bold statements about her Royal Highness. They keep calling her her Royal Highness, character of which has been inspiring to her many of her fans and outside the Sussex Squad. There's no fans outside the Sussex Squad. We will be boycotting his latest book, The Royal Pup Pack, where he seeks to include their Royal Highnesses and their 2 royal dogs as part of the storyline. He doesn't. We cannot, in good conscience, allow Mr. So to benefit in any way from the sales of this book. The Sussex Squad has decided to boycott this author, all his books, and anyone associated with him. Through our many social media accounts on both Twitter and Instagram, this is an old email, by the way, just know, because they're still referring to it as Twitter. We will continue to dissuade the public from purchasing the book.
Wow, that's a whole 12 books they didn't buy.
That happened, guys. That happened.
It's a child's book.
Like, you realize now Beyonce and Katy Perry will never endorse that book because the Sussex Squad, all 12 of them, said don't.
You know, the thing that kills me is when I hear stuff like that, it makes me want to run out and buy it.
Right?
It's a great book. I'm telling you, look.
I mean, the illustrations are definitely better than the ones that my father did.
No, but they don't. He put so much heart and soul to it. It has nothing. There's no hate about Harry and Meghan in it. The kids stay home at the palace and they all go to a state dinner and the dogs get into trouble. And the whole time it was the cat causing it. It's the funniest, cutest book.
Is it on Amazon? Is it on Amazon?
You can only get, because he lives in Singapore. And you can only get the Kindle version on Amazon. However, I have all the on previous episodes, I've actually, and I'll put it in the description box below again. I have the publisher in Singapore that you can directly get it from. He sent me this. Thank you. But
on Amazon.
I love that because honestly, I feel like a kid right now in the library at school where we're all learning about new books to read and everything. This is exciting.
My book's available on Amazon, and the body language guy did the cover art for me.
Yes.
Collab, love it.
Collab. He did the body language guy. Did the cover
in this community. Everyone supports each other in this community.
Yes.
Which is great.
And plus, we don't say anything like we don't write letters to publishers and try to get people fired. If we have anything to say, we're going to say it here. Like, I don't think Meghan and Harry should have a deal with Netflix. I think Netflix should drop them. There, I said it. I don't need to write Netflix and say it. I have a dislike button on my Netflix account, and every time Harry and Meghan put something out, I'm the first one to put that dislike. I'll admit it. Ooh.
Well, I think their deal is over. Everybody's talking about this show is going to be the last ditch effort. No, it's been 5 years of Pearl got canceled, Live to Lead bombed, Invictus bombed, Polo with Harry bombed.
I think it's over.
And they have the 6-part docuseries that didn't even win. any awards, whereas the Beckhams like broke records and won all these Emmys and stuff. They're done. I don't care how well or poorly this cooking show does. They're done. And I for one found it interesting in the Vanity Fair article that they finally admitted that they didn't give them $100 million, that was completely wrong. I doubt they even gave. I think the contract, they got paid based on how well their shows did.
Exactly.
They didn't make bank, which is why I keep saying I think they're running out of money. That's just my personal opinion.
Exactly.
But okay.
So I want to thank everyone for coming on. We're going to wrap it up because I can hear Stephanie just full disclosure. She did have surgery. She is on pain medication and she probably shouldn't be on Jen's live right now. So I'm going to have to go up there and stop that. I am not mean to my sister. Some people are saying I'm mean to her. Try living with her. I'll trade anybody a week. You know what? If anyone knows a faster contractor out there that can get my house done, let me know. Anyway,
how much longer are they telling you have?
Well, it's not that. It's just I don't think people understand the extent. I'm not just getting a like when Stephanie stayed with me during the pandemic. They were just like redoing the kitchen, redo. They're literally tearing down walls. Like I'm getting an extra bathroom put in. I'm getting new siding put out on the house. I'm getting a deck installed. I'm getting new landscape. It's just I'm getting my dream home, but it's just gonna, at first I'm like, oh, I just have to walk 10 feet. It's gonna be
massive redo. Yeah. It's a massive redo. I get it.
It's a massive redo. So, and plus they haven't been able to work in like the last 3 weeks because it's been cold here. You can't work when it's this cold. So, and it's been raining and you kind of have to go at their pace. So
just really quickly before we go, how cold is it, Nancy, where you're at?
Right now it was 30 this morning. I know that sounds lame, but 30 for Portland. Right now it's 46 degrees, but it's freezing in the morning.
You have snow?
No, we don't get snow in Portland.
And Resting Dollface, you have snow, right?
I had a blizzard.
And how cold is it right now where you're at?
I'm going to have to pull it up. You go on. I'll pull up the weather, okay?
Michelle?
Yeah, we had snow this morning in Texas. We talked about it this morning. You guys, I just went over to Jen's chat. And it's on mute, but Stephanie's facial expression. Sorry. And I wrote in there, are you turning over?
After we get off here, if you want to go see Stephanie in a Vicodin induced coma,
I was just telling them that I went over there and I have my YouTube muted because it does like a echo here. And I was just laughing at Stephanie's facial expression. like, oh my.
I'll watch her tomorrow when I can't get out of my house because here it is. Yes, my God. Here it was like 17 today with I think they call it a wind chill factor. So it actually felt colder. It felt like 8 and it just started snowing like an hour ago. And because we in the south where I live, we don't have the ability to remove the ice or salt or do anything. So the whole town becomes like paralyzed. Schools are shut down. Everything is closed. And I won't leave my house now for a week.
It's see, if something like that happened, we had an ice storm last January in Portland and the whole city just shut down. It was crazy. Like we don't handle it very well here. So when it gets cold, people shut down. Even if
at least cold. I have electricity. And this time around, I have a generator in the event.
Well, I know you do because when the hurricanes were on that side of the map for you, I remember offering you a place to refuge as well. And you're like, you have a generator. And I'm like,
day 3, I got in line at the Lowe's, which is the convenience store, like a home goods store here. I got in line for 2 hours and managed to snag a generator, which is just enough to run. It's not enough to run the hot water heater. It's not enough to run the stove or the oven or anything, but it was enough to run the refrigerator and the freezer and a couple of lights and charge my phone. And that was all we needed. So, but I will never be caught like that again. Now we have a generator. So I'm ready.
Gentle Mom says, I'm near Galveston here and things are closed through tomorrow. I hear like Florida's getting hit too by this freezing
crazy weather.
Guys, if you enjoyed this show, as always, Stephanie and I ask that you go directly to New Hope for Eastern Oregon Dogs Rescue. That's what's in the description box below today. That they are taking a lot of the animals from California right now, and they are giving them a lot of Oregon and Washington State. They're stepping up right now and taking a lot of places in San Francisco are Muttsville, but this place especially, New Hope for Eastern Oregon Animals. They are rehabilitating all the animals that got stuck in the fire, unfortunately, and it's pretty sad. But if we can help them out, let's just try to do that. Like I said, if you enjoyed the show today, I'd rather have you give directly. That way, you get a receipt. We can not deal with the middleman. It's a lot easier. God, I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm looking at these temperatures. I keep forgetting. It's like Canada. Oh, well, here we go.
75. You're in a long sleeve shirt.
I needed somebody.
You're in Hawaii.
I needed somebody to stop the coldness for me because I was like, what? Somebody says Portland. There are sidewalk spots of joy all over Portland. Yeah, I live in the Division Clinton Street neighborhood, and we have all those where after the pandemic, I don't know about you guys, but after the pandemic, remember when they were closing off certain sections of streets because they wanted outdoor seating? Well, Portland loved that idea. So they were like, we're going to keep it and we're going to paint the roads. Oh yeah. Guys ever come visit me? Yeah, I know it's like right down the street from my house. We used to have a road that went all the way down, and now it's like, nope, we're just going to close for the restaurants. It's been like that since the pandemic, but you get used to it. You go around now. But yeah, we have little pockets of joy.
Oh my God.
Not really. Okay, Sue, do you need to plug anything? We got your video tomorrow. Let's get that.
My video tomorrow, in the beginning, as usual, I'm covering the royal family. And then after the royal family, I'm doing the whole court thing. And because I was taping it while it was happening. We talk a little bit about Trump. We talk a little bit about the new bullying allegations that have just come out. Once again, I did a ridiculously long video. I try not to make them so long, but it's like another 20-minute long video. Like there's so much information. I have to get it all in there. It's like crazy.
Lisa, yeah, Southeast Portland, baby. I grew up in Mount Tabor, and now I'm in the Clinton district area. Boom. Okay. Rusting Dollface, do you have anything to plug?
Yeah, I've got 2 new videos dropping this week. And oh my gosh, if Meghan's show actually makes it to air, I will be doing kind of like a drunk history recap of each episode. So stay tuned. I've got my Grey Goose ready, my cranberry. So it's going to go down.
Yeah. That's awesome. No, I'm so glad you're putting out more videos. We need that in our lives.
Fabulous.
Michelle, Royal Daily Tea. Sorry, we don't have enough time. We got to go.
I'm going to be working. I'm a little bit behind on my videos, but I'm going to be working on the Vanity Fair, the court case. And sometime this week, I am definitely going to be doing a look back at all the major mistakes over the past 5 years post-Megxit, because a lot of people, they're always like, why do you hate Meghan and Harry? Why don't you like them? What did they ever do? And it's like, for real? So I feel like I need to go over it and just kind of go over the biggest mistakes they've made post-Megxit, but they keep adding to the list. So it's a good thing I waited, right? Because 2025, in my opinion, has been a colossal flop. And we're only
how many days has it been? How many days is it?
22 days? Is it 21 days? And I don't know if you've noticed, today's the 21st, okay?
Yeah,
so she came back 21 days, and she's still at 1.5 followers. She hasn't moved in over a week.
No. We mentioned, I'm glad you mentioned that. Ben Stiller is not my boyfriend, no. Did Stephanie telling people Ben Stiller is my boyfriend while also talking about it's interesting. People think because people are on TV or they think they're rich and they have these not necessarily, guys. That's
myth. As far as Meghan's Instagram, I also read, and I put it in. You know me. I always bring my receipts. There was an actual article that said that it showed that a lot of her followers were bots. that they weren't
Yes,
real.
of course. No, if you look at them, yeah. I mean, and plus it's very stagnant. As someone who knows, I mean, I feel good about knowing a lot about Instagram because I'm a loser. I hope
But you
Stephanie.
are a loser. You're not a loser.
I'm just making
at
sure
all.
Stephanie's not telling everybody who my boyfriend is upstairs
All
right
I
now.
can say is they're having a very good time over there. That's
Okay,
all
I
I
Can
gotta
I see that somebody just said that she's saying the weirdest places she's ever had
Yes,
sex?
yes, she is.
Oh,
So I'm
no.
after this. What the hell was I talking about just now? I'm sorry, I got completely.
Is it Brendan
Oh,
Fraser?
Instagram. The
Your
fact that
boyfriend?
the fact that Meghan is stagnant right now and she hasn't moved from 1.5 in a couple
Right.
weeks
Over a week.
she's not gonna. She's stagnant now. It's done. It's
I mean,
done.
when you think about how many people are in the United States and how many people are in the world,
Yeah.
1.5 million is like nothing.
How
No.
many follow the
Studies this week.
Kardashians versus her, right? Like Kim's
Right.
at what, 90 million?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, Kim has a lot of bots, but there's absolutely no way that she wouldn't be moving numbers right now if she was a popular person. It's impossible. It's impossible. And I can tell, we can all speak from experience, the four of us. Do you guys ever stop and get stagnant? I don't think I've ever got stopped and gotten stagnant because you're always, if you're interesting and you are a nice person and your name isn't Mattress and Money Making Meredith, then you should be good.
Oh, okay. Last thing I want to mention, guys. Okay, because I have you all on here, I did tell Sue this. I think I found a Hallmark style movie that basically takes Meghan Markle's life and her inspiration and aspiration, makes it more interesting. And they made a movie out of it. So I'm gonna send you the link, Nancy, on X, so you can watch it too. And if y'all want, maybe we could all get together for a live recap.
Send me the link.
Really
and then
did.
I'll download it. Yeah, it was a great live. Or is that what you're saying?
No.
Well-
She found a Hallmark movie that's basically based on Meghan's life. She sent it to me. I was like, oh my God.
No. I agree with you. I think I'm going to download it and then I'm going to see if it's copywritten. And if it's not, let's do it on the show. That would be so.
Yes.
Or don't one of you have a Patreon? We can do it on a Patreon, right?
I'll get one.
She has one, and my Patreon, now that YouTube has stopped messing with me, I have stopped my Patreon.
Okay, so Resting Dollface, I know we can put anything we want on that.
Then
So
let's
if
do
you
that.
wanna
I'll send you.
You want to
the link.
host it? Yeah, if you
Yeah,
wanna
we'll
host
do
it,
like a
yeah.
big slumber party.
I'm for that. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining us. This was a fun live. I think it's a little more structured than the shit show that's going on upstairs right now. But if you want to go over to RHR Jen, you're about to see me tear through my bedroom and try to wrestle the phone out of my sister's hand.
I feel
Feel
like this is
free to
gonna
do
be
that.
like that scene in Wolf of Wall Street, but with the Sidley twins.
And you know what the problem is? People only see that aspect, so they really do think I'm the mean one, and that's the problem. So I'm really not mean. I just don't want her saying things she shouldn't say on Vicodin. Okay, guys. We love you, and thank you, girls, for joining me. And
Thanks for
look
having
out for everybody's videos. We'll put out a new video tomorrow, and love you guys. I don't know what to say. I love everyone
Someone
here.
just said don't censor Stephanie.
I'm not going to censor Stephanie. I won't censor
She's
Stephanie.
looking out for her, guys. She's looking out for her.
I won't censor her.
Can
Okay.
you give us
Bye,
a
guys.
5-second head start so we can all switch over?
I will.
I've already switched over. I'm watching it. I'm waiting for her to go.
I'm going to end it. I'm not getting rid of you ladies, but I'm going to end the stream, and that way I'll say goodbye to you. And then, okay, bye, everyone. Go.
Bye.
Bye.